out there today? This is your boy Roto Beast, and I'm with my boy Jeremy. We're here to present you our NBA live segment for Tuesday, February 26th. If you're new to this channel, please make sure and click the subscribe button below. This way you can watch all of our NBA, NFL, and MLB videos. If you haven't come in and checked our website here at gfscheatsheet.com, you're absolutely missing out. We have all the tools to help you compete with the pros day in and day out, including a complete optimizer, tons of content, daily Fanduel and Draftkings cash lineups. Hey, we're truly a one-stop shop for all your DFS needs. So make sure to come check out the site here at dfscheatsheet.com. So, hey, what up, Jeremy? How you doing, bro?
What's up, man? How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good. Hey, small, 3-game slate. I'm going to keep it real with you 100%. There was a couple tournaments that came out today that I really, really liked. So right now, I'm currently max entered in 2 tournaments. And that's really where my night's going to be. 3-game slate, not really a cash game slate for me. I'm going to try to hit them at all angles and try to make some money tonight. So I am looking forward to tonight's slate, man. What do you think about tonight's slate?
Yeah, this is not a cash game slate. This, in my opinion, is the worst slate of the basketball season so far.
Damn, that bad?
It's the worst slate. And in 4 years, I'm telling you, of doing daily, I can't think of a worse shooting guard spot on FanDuel with Evan Fournier, the top option at 6,000. And I'm not saying he's the top option to play. Yeah. I'm saying the top overall salary. Yeah. I can't think of another slate in 4 years that was as bad as this. And then, you look at the season as it's been, this has really been the DFS season of injury news, right? I mean, today pretty much everybody's playing, and you've got 3 jam-packed log-jam rosters, so there's not a lot of value on the board. There's really not a bunch of different ways that you can build. It's a terrible slate. It is, but hey, this is what we do. We love DFS, and all of us who are in DFS, we're gonna figure out how to attack the slate and try and make some money off of it. So let's get into it.
Yeah, for sure, man. So, hey, man, I just want to get into it, man. I want to know if anything's changed from you from last night to today. How are you feeling right now about Robinson for the Knicks?
I just think that Robinson's going to be an absolute very high-owned player. He's probably a cash game lock. It's an obvious play with DeAndre Jordan out. I just think that for cash games, if you're going to play in cash games and double ups, etc., this is the guy who's going to be 70, 80, 85% owned today. People are going to move on.
Yeah, but okay, so I understand that, and that's why I asked you, because I feel he's going to be really, really high owned as well. So the kind of thing that I was debating and I was looking up a little bit. So Robinson, right? The thing about this guy is, bro, he kills it he gets so many blocks. I mean, if you look at his game log, I mean, he's got you 3 blocks and pretty much 8 straight games except for 1. And I hate counting on defensive stats, but this guy just gets the blocks. And I seen a stat. It was like for every 36 minutes that he plays, he's averaging 5.5 blocks. So it's hard to say, man, we don't want to depend on this guy because of these blocks. But this is just something that this guy does. And then he can easily get you a double-double. So I'm really liking Robertson. But it's hard because we talked about it last night. I like Steven Adams almost, just as – that I like, honestly, I feel more, I'm going to put it like this. I feel more comfortable with Steven Adams, even though I feel, Robinson is going to be much, much higher owned. But, we mentioned it last night. Steven Adams, 2 games against Denver. He had 1 decent game and 1 really good game. But the positive, he played 37 minutes in both of them. They're going to need him on the floor to play against Jokic. He's not a guy that necessarily gets in foul trouble. So I think that although everybody's down on Adams because of his recent performance, me and you have been playing long enough to know, to not just look at the past couple games. You got to look at the whole body of the season. And I like Steven Adams tonight. And I think, for me, I like him more in cash games than I do Robinson. Am I really wrong for that?
Well, I don't mind Steven Adams, and I liked Steven Adams last night. It's the first guy I started with when we touched on Oklahoma City. So I like Steven Adams. The problem that I have with Steven Adams is that I can totally see the type of game plan that Denver's going to play, and I can see them pulling Adams out from underneath the basket and using Jokic between the free throw line and the three-point line to facilitate the offense with the high pick and roll. And if that happens, a guy that's so overpriced, in my opinion, because his price tag is really based off of 2 things: his last 4 games and a 3-game slate, and that's Paul Millsap. I can totally see a situation where Millsap does have a really solid game tonight, because if they play the way I think they might, with pulling Jokic out, I think they'll have some run with Jamal Murray as a shooting guard and Isaiah Thomas as the point guard. I think that will play out a little bit. I think Millsap is the guy that it could open it up for. So with Adams out from underneath the basket, if that's how it goes, I just have he's going to be offense dependent, and that scares me a little bit. My favorite center on this slate is Vucevic, because it's a pay up spot. It's a pay up spot where there's chalk on the board, and then you look at what the guy's done. Mitchell Robinson's a young kid. They don't have a lot behind Mitchell Robinson if he were to, get in foul trouble. I think Vucevic is the best play at center, period. Take Price out of it. Just the best play, I think, is Vucevic.
Yeah, that's another thing that was really, really throwing me off with Mitchell Robinson, was the fact that Vucevic could definitely get him in foul trouble. We know how good of a player Vucevic is, for sure.
This game means a lot to Orlando, man. I mean, they're 8th right now. This game, you take a look at the East, and it's a log jam up front with those top 5 teams. You've got Indiana, 2 of them going, Boston and Toronto, Philadelphia. It's a log jam up there. So, you've got to – this game means a lot to Orlando. And you start looking at the roster and who you want to pay for over there. There's really 3 guys to me on Orlando that I want to get exposure to, and Vucevic my favorite.
Yeah, for sure. So we got a couple questions. Let's move into the questions. First question we got is Al Horford a sneaky play tonight, or is he too expensive?
He's a very sneaky play tonight, because I think people don't want to pay $8,000 for Al Horford. I think he's a very sneaky play.
Okay, yeah, I mean, we talked about it recently. I mean, he's been looking a lot fresher lately. He's had a little bit more pep in his step. Had a couple really, really good games recently as well, playing well. And the most positive part about it right now is Al Horford. He's consistently playing over 30 minutes. That's something we haven't seen in a while. So I definitely think that Al Horford is a solid play today. GPP though, obviously he's a GPP play. So Ibaka starting. So do you want to kind of give your spiel on the Ibaka starting and the Gasol thing?
I think Ibaka starting really, really opens things up for. Yeah, he's been. I mean, that's not new news. But if you want to talk about it, we could talk about matchup standpoint. Ibaka and Al Horford are very similar players. They're very similar in height. They're very similar in skill set. Al Horford's a better passer than Ibaka is, but Ibaka probably shoots the 3 a little better than Horford does. So they're very similar players, and I think it opens things up for Jason Tatum and for Siakam. Siakam obviously is a beast. We know that. He's a slashing type player, and I think it opens things up for him a little bit. Gasol, we know how Siakam plays in the rotation, and Siakam is typically on the floor a little bit without Ibaka as well. And if Gasol comes in, Gasol's a good passer. I think that the guy that benefits the most from Ibaka starting is actually Siakam. That's just my take on that.
Yeah, no, but that's what I talked about that last night. Is Ibaka is the one that's losing the minutes. Siakam is they really, really like this guy. He's getting his 34, 35 minutes a game, for sure. So let me see. We got any other questions? Yeah, see this
plain and simple to Alfonso. Power forward and shooting guard are just absolutely ugly. I'll give you a good example. There's a ton of data, and we've talked about it with Markieff Morris with Kyrie Irving on the floor and Kyrie Irving off the floor. His usage rate just completely goes in the tank with Kyrie on the floor. Markieff Morris plays much better. Is it Markieff or Marcus? I always get him confused.
Marcus is the one that plays on Boston.
Yeah, so his usage rate takes a tank without Kyrie. He benefits, with Kyrie, he benefits without Kyrie. You take a look at what he's done against Toronto. All of his games are in the teens, like 17, 14, 16, 18 fantasy points, 5.1. That's, to me, Kim Birch is probably one of the guys you want to put in your lineup because he's getting about 17 pretty consistently, 17 fantasy points in that spot. They don't have another center. And for the Knicks, outside of Robinson, and then Mohamed Bamba, he's out, so that gives the boost to Birch. That's probably one of your spots, and then it's very ugly past that. It's very, very ugly past that. Really, Siakam is and Tatum, and that's really it.
Yeah, man, for sure. Man, so what are you doing? I mean, one guy that I'm struggling with, and maybe you give me your kind of opinion on it, is what do you think about Jamal Murray tonight? See, this is my thing on it really quick is it's a bad individual matchup, but Jamal Murray at home, and this is an up-tempo game for him. They get a pace bump going against OKC. 6.8 is a very fair price tag. And I mean, he's had 2 games already this year in this matchup. And let me pull it up for you real quick. So he's had 2 games already. He got you. He played the minutes. That's what we like for sure. And he got 41 fantasy points in 26. The 26 is not going to absolutely crush you on a 6.8 price tag. What's your thoughts on Murray?
If you're playing 10 lineups, then put him in 1 or 2 of them. That's my take.
Okay.
And here's the reason why.
So who's your? Obviously, for me, I love Westbrook. So
I'm not going to tell you
if I'm going to go Westbrook in pretty much every single lineup, I'm throwing a couple Kyrie Irvings, instead of Westbrook. Who is your favorite point guard number 2?
Kyrie Irving.
So you're going to pair Westbrook and Kyrie Irving tonight?
I just think that the way this thing goes, you take a look at shooting guard. There's 2 guys at shooting guard. I'm sure you can figure out who they are. They're playing 30 minutes, and they're $3,700, right? When Evan Fournier is the top option, he's Mr. 25, 26, 27 point. 4X out of Evan Fournier and taking up $6,000 is going to kill you. Just when you look at Westbrook, here's the thing with Westbrook. 44 is probably what his floor is tonight. It's kind of what he's averaged against Denver over his last 4 games. And here's the thing about it. If he's 70% owned tonight and gets you 44 fantasy points, he's not going to kill your lineup because he's going to be very highly owned. If he gets you 70 and you don't own him, your lineup's done.
Well, and one thing I just want to piggyback off of that, bro, is Westbrook. It's been talked about all year long. Is that he hasn't been shooting the ball well. He hasn't been shooting the ball well. You know what I mean? So 3 of the past 4 games, he got you 40 points. He's shooting the ball well right now. He's looking to score the ball more. I think tonight, I think he can have a really, really good game. And like you say, if either way is not going to hurt you, whether he goes off or he doesn't, you just got to kind of figure a way to put him in your lineups for the most part tonight. Correct?
Yes, and if you look at small forward, it could go either way, right? So if you play Leonard early and he gets you 55. You need 55 out of Paul George really to kind of cancel each other out, which is not out of the question. And the way those 2 guys are playing, Westbrook's getting you, on average for the season, like 14 points, 12 rebounds, 12 assists. And Paul George is the guy who gets you 40 actual points. So there's not another guy that has the upside of Westbrook. Kyrie Irving's not going to get 70. Right. 50, 55, 60, you can see Kyrie doing that. He has that kind of a ceiling. But he's not going to get you 70, 75. This is a playoff type game. The over and under is very high. The spread is very close. I just don't see any other way around Russell Westbrook. And as far as the second option goes, I can really see my favorite is Kyrie. I can see drop spotting it with Isaiah Thomas. I can see drop spotting it with Jerry Grant in Orlando. I could see drop spotting with those 2 guys as well. I think that if you're playing tournaments, you're playing 150 lines, you lock Westbrook in, you get kind of equal exposure to the other 4 or 5 guys in that spot and move on.
Yeah, one other point guard I really like DJ Augustine. I think Augustine is a fair play. The minutes have kind of been up and down. That's the scary thing. Positive though, past 2 games, played 27 minutes at a 4.8 price tag. The guy does have a little bit of upside. At the end of the day, you can look at his game log. He still got you at least 22 fantasy points in 4 of the past 5 games with the 35 burger in there, which is 7x. So showing us a little bit upside. So I think Augustine is a pretty good play as well at 4.8 on kind of an ugly slate for sure. Let me check, see if we got any more questions, what we got going on in there. Any questions, man, put your guys' questions in there. We'll get to them as fast as possible. If not, I'm about to get out of here pretty soon, start building these lineups. Yeah, man, hey, if you haven't came and checked out the site and checked out the optimizer, it's awesome. So tonight you can, go max enter a couple different tournaments. You can do it. Come in here, you can run the optimizer, 150 lines, throw it in one. Come in here, build your player pool with just, whoever you want. You just kind of have to just go through and lock your guys in, build your player pool, and run yourself another 150. You don't have to run that much. A lot of cool things that we do got going on with the optimizer right now, though. If you haven't came and checked it out, you're missing out. So, hey, no other questions, Jeremy. I'm about ready to get up out of here. You got anything else to say before we get out of here and kind of get ready to go get our lineups in?
Kawhi Leonard that's the latest news. I just mentioned that he is playing, just in case anybody was worried he's not. He is playing.
Okay. For sure. So hey, it's pretty. We're not really waiting for no more news. It's pretty clear forward from here. So that's a positive. We don't have to wait till the very last second. I think tonight's a night. You could kind of work on them right now, figure out what you're gonna do, make your lines, kind of move on. But hey, that's all we got for you. Good luck on your guys' contest tonight, man. Definitely, you still got some time. Check out the site and check out what we got going on as well. DFScheatsheet.com. Hey, thanks for helping me out very much, Jeremy. Appreciate it. And peace out, guys.